Well, hiya, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Happy Tag Tuesday. It is Tag Tuesday, so here I am with another tag. I've been kind of doing these the last few days anyway, so figured this would go right with it. I'm going to do the end of the year tag. This is a tag that was created, I believe, back in 2017. I've seen a few different versions. The latest version that I saw was Keely over at A Bibliophile's Journey, and I'll leave the link to her video down in the description. And the original was done by Ariel Bissett. And this is the type of tag that just at the end of the year you take stock of where you're at and with your, like your TBRs and your planned reads for the next year, and you try to wrap things up. And so I saw this on several channels, but that was the last one. Keely's video was the last one that I saw. So anyway, without further ado, here we go. Question number 1 on the end of the year tag. Are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? There are a couple that I have started that I have been working on finishing. Earlier in the year, I had tried to read Tales of the South Pacific by James Michener. I might go back to that one and try to finish it, try to do the last, I think, 2/3 of the book. I was just really struggling with it, so I'm not sure on that one. But the 3 that I am working on right now that I possibly could get them done over this Thanksgiving weekend if I really get after it. The first one is a buddy read that I know I'm going to get done because it's for my nonfiction November, and it's a buddy read, and I just really want to get it done. It's a good book. I just got to get myself in the right mindset. I've had a lot of things on my mind, and so I've just been struggling to get myself focused. I'll have days like Saturday, I read 3 or 4 chapters in the book, and then Sunday I should have been caught up in the buddy read if I'd have just read one more chapter, and I read nothing. Or nothing in this book anyway. I put a mental block on it. So one of the books here that I want to get finished, that I'd gotten started, was Einstein by Walter Isaacson. It's been a very good book. I've learned quite a bit about Einstein that I never knew. He led an interesting life, and there are a lot of surprises about him. I had this mental picture built up on him that the mental picture was not right. So I'm hoping to get that finished. That's the first one. And then another one that I want to get finished is John Grisham's Sycamore Row. I got that. I'm probably about 1/3 of the way through it. It's an easy read. It's nothing hard. I just got to sit down and do it. And this will be an afternoon read most likely during the holiday. And I should be able to knock this out over Thanksgiving, I believe. And that'll set up one of my December reads, which I'll talk about in just a minute. My other one that I'm in the middle of that I read a little bit of here and there the last few days, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Didn't know how I would do with it, just because I don't read a lot of stuff dealing with the ocean, whether it be Navy or in this case fishermen, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm out of my element because I don't know any of the terminology and stuff like that, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I really give credit to Nathaniel Philbrick for that. He's just an excellent author, and so I'm about 1/3 of the way through that. I could probably finish that in an afternoon, in a long afternoon of reading, if I can get that. And it is In the Heart of the Sea, The Tragedy of the Whale Ship Essex, and it's been an excellent read. This has been the one that's distracted me from reading Einstein, so I blame this book. Let's see here. Question number 2, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And I have a couple of them, actually. I don't know if they're actually fall books. For me, they're fall books because at this point in class, or a little bit before it if I'm actually ahead of the game, I'm taking my 8th grade into like the French and Indian War and headed towards the Revolution, if not in the Revolution. But as I do that, I typically read about George Washington and other books about the American Revolution. So for me, this is a fall book because it takes us into the Christmas break. And so I have two of those. And my first pick that I want to get done that'll take me into the end of the year that I really kind of need to get started soon, because like I said yesterday in class, I introduced George Washington, and so I want to get going on this. This is General Washington, A Military Life by Edward Lingle, and this is supposed to be a really, really good military history with George Washington, pretty thorough. I saw this book. I was watching a documentary on George Washington, and Edward Lingle was one of the historians they had on the documentary. And this is the title that got, it says Edward Lingle, author of, and then it puts the title, or maybe it just put historian, and I looked it up. I can't remember. But anyway, excuse me. This book is one that I would like to read as one of my transition books. I also would like to read this book on Washington. It's called The Washingtons, George and Martha, Joined by Friendship, Crowned by Love by Flora Fraser. And I am suspecting this is going to be a real good one. I'm excited about that. Question number 3. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? Okay, so for me, this is a new release because those of you out there know that I don't buy new books, and I usually wait till they're considered used books. But the title is still fairly new. I can't remember if it came out last year or the year before. It's either 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. Maybe even 2017. I can't remember. But it's the biography on Frederick Douglass by David Blight. That is one that I plan on with Christmas money, my book money that I always get for Christmas. I plan on buying that biography. I am so excited about that. And I see that there's several people out there doing reads on that book, and they've presented that book, and I'm getting maybe a little jealous. And I think I'm finally just going to break down and spend maybe a little bit more money than I normally do on books. And so David Blight's biography on Frederick Douglass is my new release that I'm still waiting for. Now, not because I've already bought it, I'm going to buy it. Number 4, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Okay, so aside from those ones I was already talking about, these are a couple others that I had on the list. This is one I picked up at the free library box downtown, and it's called The Day the World Ended at Little Bighorn, A Lakota History by Joseph M. Marshall III. And this looked really interesting. It is a history of Little Bighorn and I think Wounded Knee maybe. But anyway, it's all done by oral histories from the Indian perspective, the Native American perspective. And I thought that would be really interesting. And, it's not real long. I should be able to get it done. And I had started that. I really didn't get very far. I fell asleep at night. I was tired. I probably shouldn't even have started the book. But I'm thinking I could probably knock that out pretty quick. So that's one read that I'd like to try to get done before the end of the school year. And or not school year, but the end of the year. And for me at school, we get, Christmas holiday, and I always get a lot of, traditionally, I always get a lot of book reading done over the holiday. And so I'm hoping that will continue. So I should have time to get these done. The next one is another Nathaniel Philbrick book, and I'm a huge fan of Nathaniel Philbrick. If you guys haven't tried his books, you need to try them. They're very, very worth it. But this is In the Hurricane's Eye, The Genius of George Washington and the Victory at Yorktown. And of course, this will go right along with my Revolution unit. And I'd like to see what he has to say. And again, a lot of this, you'll notice the ships in the background. I believe a lot of this is based on the naval side of things. I'm sure it's going to include some of the military stuff done on land, but I think it's going to be relying a little bit more on the French Navy blockading Chesapeake Bay, and so that's going to be real interesting because I always read stuff on the land on the Army side of things, but I don't read a whole lot of stuff on the Navy, and that's something I would like to change. I would like to, read a few of the naval histories, so I'm real excited about that. And his books always read fast, and so I think I can get that done. And my other one that I know I will get done, because I will make a point of getting it done, is John Grisham's new book, A Time for Mercy. I got that for my birthday. Usually I read it like within 2 days of getting it, and I've already got it read. But I've been trying to hold off on this because I'd had a request to do some book reviews on the Jake Bridges novels. So I wanted to read Sycamore Row first, because I read A Time to Kill earlier in the year. I wanted to read Sycamore Row and then read this. So look forward to that if you're interested in John Grisham books and the Jake Bridges series. Excuse me. Let's see here. Number 5. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I have a contender. First of all, I think I actually have 2 contenders. I think both of these Nathaniel Philbrick books could contend for one of my favorite books of the year. This one especially, because and I choose this one, not that the other one will be bad. I'm not expecting that at all, but this one has just been such a shock. I know I'll like the other one. It deals with the American Revolution. It's like right in my wheelhouse. But this one is just out of my wheelhouse. It's not something I typically read about, and it's very good. It's been fast paced, and he's wrote a story that even a caveman can understand. And even though I'm not real familiar with nautical terms and stuff, I've been able to follow the story pretty well. And it's real interesting. The whale just hit the ship. It's pretty cool. They are in the process of seeing the ship sink. And I can only imagine, because for me, that would be torture, because I don't swim well. Anyway, number 6. Have you already started making reading plans for 2021? I have a little bit. But again, as I said in earlier videos, I'm not real sure why I make TBR lists, because I never seem to either get them done or stick to them. I'm going to try to make a point of cleaning up all my TBR lists. In 2021, one of my goals is to clean up the 2020 TBR list. So I'm going to try to do that. But I have made a few plans for 2021. I know a couple of the books that are on my list. I would like to read, and you can't see it in the camera. It's up on the top shelf back there. But I want to read the 2nd volume in Sidney Blumenthal's Lincoln series. I would like to read David Herbert Donald's Lincoln. I want to read that. I would like to read one of my Grant novels. I'm not sure which one, or Grant biographies, excuse me. I'm not sure if I want to read Ron Chernow's or Ronald White's. I'm not sure which one I'm going to read first. So I'm going to pick one of those. I'm going to read Shelby Foote's Volume 1 of the Civil War narrative that he put together, that big, huge 3-volume series. I want to read the first one. And let's see here. Oh, the Teddy Roosevelt series that was put together by, give me just a second, Edmund Morris. I want to read the first one in that series. So that's my preliminary plans. There's other books that I know that'll pop up along the way, and those are big, thick books. So that's going to take some time for a slow reader like myself. But I thoroughly enjoy the information, or the eras that I'm reading about. So I should be able to get that done. And maybe I should limit my 2021 TBR list this year. Maybe limit it a little bit so that I can clean up 2020. So anyway, that was the end of the year tag. Those are my plans. And so this is an old tag, like I said, clear back from 2017. So I'm not sure who all has done it. And this is also one of those tags that you can actually do year after year. And so I believe I'll probably try to remember this one for next year. But if you haven't done this one yet, and you want to, have an end of the year kind of recap of what you've been reading, and get some goals for yourself to clean things up on your TBR list and stuff like that. If you're like that, this might be the tag for you, and I invite everyone to do this tag if you haven't done it already. So thank you for your time, BookTube. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and have a great day and happy reading.